Welcome, guys. It's Tuesday, May 2nd, Story Trading pre-market prep. And boy, do we have a lot to cover. Lots of news, lots of actionable ideas. Let's just put this out there. All right. So first, just a quick look at the macro stuff to see if there's anything flagging warning signs for us. And from the price action, I don't see anything. Everything's relatively stable. But we have FOMC tomorrow, 2 p.m., Fed rate decision. That brings in some risk. I would consider higher cash position in tomorrow, maybe a little hedge in tomorrow, just in case they surprise in a negative way. But everything's looking really good, especially with the major indices above all the key moving averages. Volatility is low. So things are looking kind of good. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, by the way, I just want to point out PACW did take that hit. We talked about that yesterday. So can PACW be next? And they are, I think, they are being targeted. So, or it's the beginning of them maybe being targeted, down 10% yesterday after all these banks are, I got to delete these tickers. They're no longer going to exist. Who was buying First Republic at 190 yesterday? That's crazy. All right. So let's go to the yesterday morning. Seriously, it's getting halted any second. All right. So let's go to the news. Got lots of stuff. Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to begin and how we're going to cover it all. But let's just start with AGCO because it's the top of the list, because we've had a lot of success with earnings re-ratings plays. And here's one right here. AGCO beat estimates. You can see it here. 351 beats 270. Okay. 351 beats 270. But then what's more important is their guidance. So I dug into the guidance and, oh boy, you know what? What was it? 6%. Now I got to go back and look at my notes this morning because I did calculate this earlier. And based on the guidance for 2023, here we go. It was 6% above consensus. Okay. So you can expect a roughly 6% re-rating. The stock's up now almost 4%. But I'd like to correlate that with technicals. And if you do roughly 6%, it takes you to like a little over 130. But guess what's right there? The 50 DMA is at 130. So that's my first target. Is 130. Now it's 129.50 here, but maybe we'll get it'll dip a little bit at the open. It's a big spread, 128.55. So who knows? Maybe the ask will be 128.60 when it opens. But this is a re-rating play based on good earnings. By the way, the commentary was very, very positive, nothing negative at all. So this is a clean play, I think, to 130. And if you switch to the weekly DMA over here, you have 130, a little over 132 at the 20-week moving average. So 130. And then roughly 132 are targets based on guidance beat, not just the quarter beat, but the guidance beat more important. And also you got to combine that with a positive commentary in the press release. So AGCO, a top re-rating play today. DRIO had news today. DRIO got financing here, 14.3 million private placement. They've also refinanced $25 million in borrowed funds, it says, which saves them approximately $6 million in annual amortization payments. And I think they extended that as well. That line of credit is now bigger in case they need access to it by, I think, an additional $5 million. It says they've refinanced existing $25 million credit facility with a new $30 million credit facility. The refinance is expected to save the company $500,000 in monthly amortization payments. So this basically extends their cash runway. This extends their cash runway to late 2025, which is quite a while. So that takes off any concerns of a further immediate financing off of the table and potentially gets us through this macroeconomic situation. So if they do need to raise again in late 2025 or mid-2025, it'll be under a set of much better market conditions, hopefully with much, much higher revenue. Now, we did interview the president last week on Wednesday, and we got better guidance on when this huge Aetna plan is supposed to kick off. They're telling us July 1st. It's May 2nd. So July 1st, you're going to see that's Q3. So in Q3, when they report Q3 this year, you're going to see a big increase in revenue. And that the terms of that payment plan with Aetna are very, very, very good. So that you're going to see an immediate impact in a substantial way to revenue in Q3. That's huge. Combined with the financing, that's also huge. I'm hoping the bottom's in on this stock. And let's see. On this news, maybe you can make a move to the 20 DMA, 363. All right, we'll see if that happens. And I would love to see some momentum after that, maybe some news, and you can break 363 and head on over to the 50 DMA. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Okay, LILM, financing news. You can see financing news here is the theme. It's very beaten down if they know you need to raise money. And then once you raise, the stock goes up, not further down. That's been the trend. We've been seeing this ever since the regional banking crisis. That's when all this started. Ever since the regional banking crisis, microcaps, risk assets, any company that needs to raise money consistently beaten down, almost like it's heading towards a zero, because people are afraid of like a 2009 style credit crunch at some point. And then if the company can raise money, then that pressure is relieved and the stock goes up. That's why you see LILM up 31% on a massive financing of up to $250 million. Already $100 million of that is closed. And if they only get another $75 million, the company that's the firm that's putting in $100 million, they're going to match that, right? Interesting to see that. So they just need another $75 million, and that'll take them to the full $250 million. So this is very interesting. And this also, if you look at the press release, this basically takes them to a situation where they may not need to raise money again in the future. Market likes that. Look at this 20 DMA, relentlessly pushing it down. This morning, it's been gapping above all morning since 4 a.m. Since the news came out, it wasn't 4 a.m., it was like 6 a.m. Since the news came out at 6 a.m., this has been instantly over that key 20 DMA area. It's both support and resistance. So the question is, when this opens at 9 a.m., at 9:30 a.m., is this 50 cents going to prove to be resistance and we're back down on the dumpsters? Or is it going to stay support and possibly now making a move to a swing play of 75 cents at the 50 DMA? Or, you know what? I'm going to revise that. It's more like 70 cents, 70, 71 cents. I said 75 cents earlier, but I'm looking at that now. It's more like 70 to 71 cents. So this is a potential big move, right? If it goes from 50 to 75 to 71 cents, that's like a 40% additional move. It's already up 31%. But I got to admit, a little tricky because we don't know for sure if it's going to hold this 50 cents. I'm kind of a betting man, so I would like to probably have a position right around 50 cents. I think that news was very good. So this is the EV toll company. They're making electric airplanes, and that's quite a bit of cash that can get them to their next milestones. Okay. Then we got other news. Sting, thank you, Matt, in our community, Matt S, for bringing this to our attention. It's been on our watch list. Sting, they beat earnings by about 2.8%, right? They didn't provide guidance. It's tough to do that in the oil industry, but they beat by about 2%, 2.8%. You can see the stock gapping up by 2.6%. All right. Isn't crazy how that works? But it was good news, and they reloaded on the share repurchase program, like another 250 million share repurchase purchase program they authorized. So potentially this could be enough to get it to resistance levels up here at roughly, I'm seeing 54 and then 55.70 at the 220 DMA. Those are possibly in play, and you see your support there at the bottom of yesterday's candle and then the 200 DMA. So STNG potentially in play. Not a huge beat, right? Actually, I don't like it as much as AGCO, but it's something to watch there in a potential play. All right, SKYT is a company I'm not that familiar with. It's semiconductor play. It's been on my radar for a long time. This has been relentlessly down, but they had some news this morning that could spark a move to the 20 DMA. 20 DMA is right there at about 980. You can see pre-market 960, but realistically, let's just look at the close of 917. So maybe you get 50 to 60 cents out of this press release. Quantum expands development engagement and plan for production ramp of quantum computing technology at Skywater's Minnesota fab. If you look at this, what caught my eye is that this is silicon photonics. And we know that's the next big thing, silicon photonics. So nice buzzword for this company. So maybe this will be enough to finally turn it around and make a move to 970, 980 or so. So keep that on your watch list as a possible play. Just going to note Pfizer earnings are out. They did beat, but you can see it's flat. You know why it's flat? Because the guidance was in line. They did not increase guidance, but they reaffirmed guidance. So it makes sense that it's flat. And we always look at guidance, right? That's like an easy cheat code. Initial reactions in the market are often based on the headline of what just happened. But if you're keen enough to almost completely ignore that and go to the guidance, it works out. It works out almost every single time. In this case, like theoretically, if you shorted it and say, hey, it's probably going flat because they just reaffirmed their guidance, that would have been the right move. But we see that work in the other direction all the time as well. So just remember that. Always look at guidance, because the stock market is forward-looking, and they really don't care about the quarter that just passed. Okay, a little different with if they don't have guidance, like STNG, you got no choice but to look at the quarter that just passed. Okay, let's see what else we got. Another little one, AVXL, that maybe could be a play here because they had some patent news yesterday, followed up with a reaffirmation of a $54 price target by HC Wainwright. This is above the 20 DMA. I'm thinking with back-to-back news, patent, and then reaffirmation of that price target, now you can really rely on $8 and looking forward to potential move to the 50 DMA of 880 with a little bit of resistance in between at 850. So that's another possible play for you to look at. Now I want to review some stocks from yesterday that were very strong and I think can see follow through in the immediate future. That's going to be AUGX, GANX, Celsius, and PERI. Let's actually start at the bottom and then HIMS. But you know what? I'm going to start with PERI because PERI has news today. PERI is going to report after the close. This is the one that should have strong tailwinds from Microsoft and Bing market share. It's very possible they have a great report and this thing flies, but holding through earnings is risky, as we know with CYH. So we'll talk about CYH in a second as well. But in any case, we could see earnings anticipation run the rest of the day here. And you see the 50 DMA resistance about 36.85. If somehow that breaks, then the 20 DMA at 38.50 is in play. And I would monitor this closely to see how they report in after hours. And the guidance is going to be important. Any commentary on Bing market share impacting and helping them with the Microsoft portion of their business is going to be huge. Do I own this in my IRA? I got to check. If I don't, maybe I'm going to buy it because, long-term stocks I'm willing to hold through earnings. But if you're like day trading or swing trading something, probably not a good idea to hold into earnings. So that's PERI. And then speaking of earnings, I'm going out of order. CYH disappointed last night. And look at that. Wow, down to $5. I was in the post-market wrap. I think I was talking about this can make a move to 5 after it broke through 550. This was a big miss. It was a big miss yesterday. I'm not going to go through all the details. We'll talk to Tuttle Trades tomorrow on this in a regular spot 10:30 a.m. with Chris Tuttle. That was one of his picks. Unfortunately, so far, this one didn't work out. I will note, however, that Oppenheimer came out and defended this, reiterating an outperform and a $6.50 price target. Okay, so CYH, you got to know that there's risk holding into earnings, and you should only do that with stocks that you feel fundamentally are good long-term. We're talking a year's outlook, and you're willing to hold it. Otherwise, I really wouldn't be holding stocks into earnings reports. So that's the risk of doing that. So broke that 550 key support level. It's sitting here at 5. It's even possible it makes a move back to this low here, this proximal low 440. Okay, and then you have this low down here at 4. But they have their conference call today at 10 or 11 a.m. And based on that, and if other analysts come out and defend it, maybe it makes a move back to 550. But now that's a very key level. That 550 level is going to be your bull bear line for now. All right, so let's move back up. I mentioned a bunch of stocks were strong. I mean, how did we ever nail Celsius? We've been on top of this ever since this candle here, April 21st, because StoryTrading style, right? Not only technicals, but also catalysts. We had earnings coming up, and we also had sentiment of Pepsi having a great report. I mean, this was just a perfect story trade because you had multiple pillars working for Celsius. It broke that 50 DMA, made it to their 200 DMA target. Yesterday morning, I told you, if this gaps above that 200 DMA and holds, then what I said 102 target, and then 108 after that. What did it hit? It did much better. It got to 103.71. Now it's pulling back to, I think, psychological support of 100. I'm thinking this might hold. Earnings are on Monday. So I think you can have a continued kind of FOMO, not FOMO, but like event anticipation run into Monday. So you got that 100 support. But again, this is also support 96. So potentially makes a move back to 96. Look how many times. Remember when this broke the 50 DMA? It made it roughly to the 200, made it all the way back to that key level, the 2050, and then back to the 200. So I wouldn't be surprised. This is a very volatile stock. If this makes a move back to 96, I wouldn't be surprised. And then I wouldn't be surprised like the next day to see it back at like 104. So something to watch over there. Celsius, we've been totally on top of that. That's been great. All right. AUGX and GANX were very strong. You know the stories here. You should. I'm sticking with them. AUGX is now an AI play. They have financing now from HCA. You got support about $2.70, 343. You got big resistance, maybe a little resistance to $3.25. But AUGX, I like very, very much. And then GANX, I loved yesterday's candle on the close. I like the bottom and the top of this candle being above that 20 DMA. It looks like it wants to make a move towards 550 again. And you can see the ask is at 550. So 550 and then 6 are your targets on GANX on this stock from Jason Assad. He's thinking there's going to be some sort of licensing agreement or acquisition in the very near future based on their data that's been coming out and developments in the Parkinson's disease arena. Am I missing anything here? We got AUGX and GANX and Celsius and PERI. It's HIMS. HIMS we didn't have on our radar yesterday. We've had it on our radar over the last couple of weeks, but yesterday morning it wasn't there. It actually broke out. Yesterday it's a new high. Broke 12, which was our initial target. 13.5% short. It's like, is it 7 or 8 days to cover? I forgot how many days to cover, but that's a pretty substantial short position on HIMS. And they've had a couple good earnings report. They had one good earnings report. Let me see when their next earnings are. May 8th. Oh, we got to put that in to track that. So their earnings are May 8th. So that's another one where you can see anticipation into the earnings report on Monday. So 12, 13, 15, all in play if it has a continued breakout. But of course, be aware of any pullbacks to this 20 DMA and be aware of earnings on Monday on HIMS. So there was a little bit of news on fuel cell. I'm not an expert in that company, renewable hydrogen energy, but you can take a look at that. It looks like a nice little deal with a Toyota facility. Maybe it can make a move to 220, but I don't know this company well enough to have any kind of conviction on that. But 220 definitely a possibility as we wait for ASXC. As we wait for ASXC earnings, I believe that's next week, and a potential big deal with Carl's Stores, I think it is, KARLSTORZ, something like that. Thank you, Tony, for bringing this to our attention. And wow, as we watch CYH really taking a dive now in pre-market below 5. LAZR is still on our radar, trying to break above this 20 DMA. It did. I mean, it's holding it. So we'll see what happens with that. But we do also have earnings on May 9th on that. So something to be aware of. But man, would I like to see this breakout and make a move towards 640 and then 7. Earnings, though. Not sure I want to hold through earnings. And then Adam, I'm cooling off on a little bit. Had a couple strong days. I'm cooling off on because it basically hit our target at the 200 DMA. I know there's like 30 days to cover, but if you look at the news, I'm not sure it's as transformational yet as the Bulls want it to be. There's still milestones that need to happen with ST Micro. Is it called STM? I don't know if it's ST Micro, but ST Microelectronics, right? There's still some milestones that need to happen, still some risks there, and the revenue won't really hit the company for another couple of years. So I'm kind of happy saying we hit that 200 DMA and let's move on. All right. We'll continue monitoring it for pullbacks, or if it happens to break out above it. Wow. Look at CYH down 28% now. Ouch. What did I tell you the support level was like 5 seconds ago? Let's see. Let's see what it's at now. Okay. It was this candle right here, 440. The potential move back to 440. Wow. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, we got still XXII on our radar still as a swing, looking for a move to 80 cents. It would be nice to have some news to spark that, but it is over that key moving average. And we talked about the shorting pressure, I think, is now reduced because Russell rank day has already passed. All right, let's just quickly go back to the top, and we're seeing AGCO doing great. Ooh, look at that big spread. What if he could sell that for like 135 in pre-market or something like that? Wow, because it's 130 by 137.78. That'll be fun if someone steps up and buys it at market and pre-market and takes it off your hand at like 135 or 136. That'll be pretty cool. But AGCO, re-rating play working for us this morning already. Wow, a lot of stuff working in like real time. LILM, look at LILM below 50 cents. I said we watch the open, but it's right there. It's so tempting. I got to say, this one's so tempting to pick up at 50 cents, but it's also extremely risky as a little microcap company. Look at it. It's right on the edge. What's it going to do? Is this resistance, or is this the best price to buy all day for a 50% move to 70 cents? I think the best thing to do is wait and watch. Wait and watch how it opens. Maybe take a small position at 50 cents right here, and then wait and watch the first 30 minutes, and then decide how to proceed from there. So lots of news today, lots of actionable ideas for you. I love seeing Celsius giving us a second opportunity here at $100. Don't forget about the PERI earnings. And let's just take a look at the news flow here. What is this? XXII does have news. 22nd Century Group announces strategic license manufacturing and distribution with Old Pal. Who the heck is Old Pal? Second leading, this is not the big news we're waiting for. There is much bigger news we're waiting for, but second leading consumer hemp cannabis brand adopts second leading hemp cannabis brand. We already had cookies. Old Pal's the second one. Combined cumulative new license distributing and exceed. I mean, these headlines sound great. Let's see if these turn into revenue and profit for the company. I mean, they're telling us it will, but that's a nice little catalyst. Maybe that'll take us to 80 cents on XXII today. All right. Wow. We got to look at the news feed. Let's see what else is out there. Let's see. Lucid, a little bit of news. We started at 8:55. Okay, 8:55. Twilio research reveals scale of AI surges. 92% of businesses flock to the technology. Oh, there was some AI news out there. I forgot which company it was, but here it is. Chegg. There it is. Chegg stock tanks as students turn to ChatGPT. I mean, every day we're seeing that companies are being. This is Chegg is like some sort of chat or some sort of social network where you can get help from other people. And now you don't need to do that. You can just go to ChatGPT. So Chegg is getting killed apparently this morning, down 47%. So every day we're seeing signs of how huge this AI thing is and how huge it's accelerating. So that just gives me a lot of confidence when you go to these AI stocks. That gives me a lot. Look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA is heading to like all-time highs. Microsoft is out. Look at this. This is probably because of that Chegg catalyst right now. Impacting this. I mean, it's just reinforcing every day why Microsoft is going to go to 344. I love Microsoft. And today you have a catalyst there. But not only Microsoft and NVIDIA, but the AI stocks, this whole section. PERI. Oh, PERI is probably going to benefit today, especially with earnings tonight. AUGX, YXT, all of these. CNH, another health tech AI company. SOUN. AI, I've heard bad things about. But it's bouncing off the 200 DMA. That's like a retail meme stock. Not necessarily has the best fundamentals, but it could keep down. I mean, this AI news is great. So Microsoft, let's add that to like the top of our watch list today, along with any AI stock on that Chegg news. All right, guys. Hopefully gave you some great content today, and good luck on your trading. We'll see you again definitely at 4 p.m. on post-market wrap with Ascending Capital. And stay tuned for alerts. You know, sometimes we do midday updates and stuff, and I feel like I might want to do one today. We'll see what happens. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.